Good takers, welcome back for the second take. Now, on the second take, if you haven't seen them before, is where I just go back at the news that's been going on in the week of movies and TV and etc. etc. I try and cram it. I'm going to try and get this down to like 10 minutes. I'm just going to try and squeeze as much of the major shit that's been happening in the last 7 days. And if you can think of anything else that I didn't think of or that I decided to intentionally leave out, just carry the conversation down below in the comments. So what shall we start with today? Right, so let's get started with some Marvel news. Get into the comic book shit straight away. Now, Kevin Feige has not quite confirmed that Ava DuVernay, the director of Selma, the much slept on Selma, or at least it was for the Oscars, he's pretty much saying that there's been a discussion with her and she's looking to be the head runner in directing the Black Panther movie. That would be it's good that they look for a black director to kind of bring that side of that character to the screen. And she's shown that she's a good director. And I like that Marvel kind of think out of the box as far as their directors. You know, they don't necessarily go for the most obvious big action directors. You know, they haven't been knocking on, as far as we know, they haven't been knocking on Michael Bay's door to be like, yeah, come and do one of our movies, because that would just be horrible. So they really do go for directors that are capable of telling decent stories, and I guess they help guide them through the style of Marvel in terms of their storytelling and their characters. So if she gets it, that'll be interesting. We don't know how or if she can do action, but I guess that's what action directors are for, you know. And I mean specifically action directors, where they'll bring in someone who'll be there specifically to deal with the action, give their advice, what's possible, what isn't. Then you got the cinematographer helping them frame it all right. So they pretty much get their hands held through those sequences. So, you know, if you do have a director that really isn't that into action or really hasn't got any experience in it, it doesn't necessarily mean they can't churn out a decent movie with action sequences in it, good action sequences. So if this comes together, this will be cool. You know, some sites have been trying to say that she is definitely directing it, but as of this week, not yet. Now, we still don't know who's going to be doing the Captain Marvel movie, and there are a lot of words been saying that Angelina Jolie is the head, or Marvel want her to be the one to direct it. You know, they want to get a female director. Like with Black Panther, they want to get black director. They want to get a female director to direct Captain Marvel. I think Angelina Jolie could be an interesting one, but I can't say I've loved anything she's directed so far. Like, she's shown to be a competent director. You know, Unbreakable was a competent movie. You know, it was alright. I don't think it was necessarily deserving to be in there with the award talk that a lot of people were saying that it was up for. That it could have been, an Academy contender. So I'm not sure I'm that confident that if she was to get Captain Marvel, that I'd be that excited for it. You know, and there's a lot of talk suddenly out of nowhere. Apparently, her and Charlize Theron are best buddies. Like, I never knew that, but apparently, if they are, they're thinking that would be a good selection. Now, I'm not sure. I think I wouldn't complain. You know, I like Charlize Theron. I don't know if it fits in with. It depends on where they tell the Captain Marvel character's story in her development. She showed in Mad Max that she is still capable. She can do the action. And of course, she's an amazing actress. She's shown that multiple times. She's an Oscar winner. So if she did get it, I think it would be a damn good get for Marvel. Those two together, just the names, Angelina Jolie, Charlize Theron, just those two names on the poster, regardless of what else they got, with the Marvel logo right on top, would be amazing. Like, that would be crazy. Apparently, The Rock has signed on for a movie adaptation of the old 90s Monster Mash type game Rampage. A lot of people getting excited about this. I don't get it. I don't see why. I vaguely remember the game. It's about basically 3 massive robots. You got one lizard T-Rex type thing, one gorilla Godzilla type thing, and a werewolf. And they're basically like Godzilla-sized characters running around fighting each other, destroying cities. Yeah, I don't really, whatever. Sorry, Sorry, I just get a little emotional now. I'm like tears out my eyes. NBC have decided they're going to cancel Hannibal, one of the best shows running right now on TV. And if you ain't watching it, you need to go back and just binge that shit, because it's an amazing show. It's easily the most beautiful show ever on TV. I think visually, there has never been a show like it. You know, Game of Thrones is the most epic, but Hannibal is just, it's art. Every frame is art. It's beautiful. And they're killing it, you know? And I admit this season has been a little scatty as far as it hasn't had the forward momentum that the first two seasons had. And it was lucky to survive the first season. It did originally get cancelled after the first season, but the fan response had it brought back, you know, had NBC change their mind and think, okay, we'll give this another go. So sadly, this season hasn't really been going too well as far as ratings, but oh god, it's such a good show. And here's praying there's still hope that Netflix or Showtime or someone, Amazon, someone will pick it up. Look at that intro. You've seen it. Bring it back. Yeah, NBC saw fit to cancel Hannibal, but then they figured, oh, what could we do with that money that we've saved? Oh, let's bring back Heroes. The trailer was right. It was, I will watch it. I will give it a go. It could surprise. Heroes originally, when it started, was a great show. It was a lot of fun, but then they ran out of ideas, or they just full on got lazy with it. Can't really say I'm that excited for the new season, but maybe they've learned their lesson. Maybe it will turn into something worth seeing. We'll see. Fucking NBC. Production has begun on Star Trek 3. Yes, and even though it's only just started, they're already talking about 4. Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto have already signed on for the 4th installment. Even though 3 isn't even out yet. I guess that's the way Hollywood works. I like to kind of hedge their bets on the possibility of doing more, you know, tie in those actors, stop them from demanding more money, depending on the success of the current movie. Yeah, a lot of people getting a little worried. The second one wasn't so great. There was good moments in it. You know, I think it was more just J.J. Abrams' need at the time, he believed, to kind of throw in twists, which wasn't needed. The whole Khan reveal was pointless. They should have just made Benedict Cumberbatch a whole different character. You know, it would have had way more weight rather than try and turn it into a remake of Wrath of Khan. It just didn't work. But 3, whole new creative team behind it. You know, Simon Pegg's one of the co-writers of it. They're saying they're going to make it more classic Star Trek-y. I hope they don't go too far into making it classic Star Trek-y. You know, we'll see. We'll see if they can get that balance right. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But as far as Chris Pine's concerned, there's a lot of word saying that he may have been signed on for Warner Brothers' new semi-reboot. We don't know if it's going to be a complete reboot of the Green Lantern movie, but this time around, it won't be specifically about Hal Jordan, if Tyrese Gibson's to be believed. Yeah, not the most reliable source. He's been running his mouth lately about being involved, and that the new Green Lantern movie could end up being a team-based movie. Now, we know that there's been multiple Green Lanterns over the years, not just Hal Jordan. Human Green Lanterns, should I say. And the rumor is that the next movie could be about all of those lanterns together, or at least, at the very least, 2 of them. Which could be an interesting. It could turn it into a team movie, a team-based superhero movie. In some ways, making it more like Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you think that's the direction Warner Brothers want to go in? Do you think that's a good idea? You know, have Hal Jordan plus everybody else together. Like, I don't know whether they all discover or they all get their rings at the same time, or Hal Jordan recruits them himself. Like, even though it's supposed to be the rings that recruit the next wearer. I don't know. It's a weird. It could be good. Like, part of me thinks it could be good. The Green Lantern Corps. There's been team-based Green Lantern comic books, the Green Lantern Corps, you know. But as a movie, especially as a semi-reboot of the whole Green Lantern world. You know, I'm interested. It could be an interesting way to do it, and they want to move as far away as they can from the previous one, the one that shall not be named. Let's not even put a poster up. Let's just leave it. But yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm really curious to see where that can go and how that can grow. Earlier this week, Lexus decided that they were going to cock tease us. Fucking dick tease. No. Apparently they claim that they have created a hoverboard, a working, real life hoverboard. Now remember, it's 2015. Now, for those that don't know, the Back to the Future movies, or Back to the Future 2, the futuristic one was based in 2015, where we had the Nike Air Mags, which Nike apparently are going to try and get out this year. The self-time ones, they had the light-up ones, a limited edition, a year before, whatever. But now they want to actually have the ones which have the self-time. They want that to drop this year. They've prototyped it. They've got all the rights for it. So they're just getting that technology down to try and get it released this year. But also, in the movie, there was the hoverboards. And Lexus are claiming that they've done it. They released this promo video to say that they've done it. That the technology is just about know-how. It's not about if you can do it. It's just about figuring out how you can do it. I'm skeptical, man. They don't show the guy stepping on it. They literally get the foot to it. I don't know whether they're just teasing us for a big unveil at some sort of future tech convention at some point, but and how is it possible? Is it quantum locking? We know that that's a technology that does exist, about getting opposing magnets that can lock at a certain distance from each other. It wouldn't be possible on concrete or grass or dirt. It would have to be on a surface equal. There's another so-called hoverboard that was being previewed last year, a way bigger, way uglier version, but they were claiming that they could do the same thing, but it was relying on a ground that was metal, specific surface. So Lexus aren't giving away whether that's the case with this one. I suspect it is if it works. Time will tell. Would you buy this? I would not mind. I don't know. I don't think I would. If it worked outside on concrete, then hell yeah, I'd be saving up for that shit. But it's doubtful. I'm skeptical, but time will tell. Time will tell. So let's get into early buzz. Now, Ant-Man, a film that a lot of people were skeptical about. A lot of people didn't believe, especially once Edgar Wright dropped out, that it was going to be any good, that this movie was just going to turn out to be a mess, that Marvel would want to water it down too much, make it too formulaic with the rest of the Marvel style of movies. But apparently, from the early buzz, despite one or two naysayers that came out of that screening saying that it wasn't that great, the majority, at least 85%, saying it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. The action is great. It's the depiction of a great heist movie in the modern age. It goes back to Marvel doing genre movies that are specific to a certain style. You got Thor with the fantasy and Captain America with the spy drama thriller, and this full-on heist movie. And I'm optimistic. I really want to see this film. I've been excited since the first trailer. I didn't like, but the second one, once they showed the whole Thomas the Tank Engine sequence and everything, yeah, I was in. I'm ready. It does look fun, even though the whole Edgar Wright thing had me a bit cautious. It had me worried. And even at the time when he left, Joss Whedon was actually quoted as saying that the Ant-Man script, Edgar Wright's Ant-Man script, was the best script Marvel had ever had. So that's a bold statement. And that's not the script they went with. There's still going to be some of it there. It's interesting. I really like to get hold of that original script. Once I've seen this movie, I want to see this film first, this version of it, and then go back to read Edgar Wright's draft of it, and just seeing what they kept and what they took out. that's going to be fascinating, because Edgar has a real specific comedic style in his writing and even the way he directs. So what did they keep? Because he left pretty late in that pre-production period. A lot of that stuff would have already worked out. A lot of action sequences would have already been storyboarded, and they would have already started to choreograph a lot of that stuff. So yeah, a lot of that would have been kept. So I'm real curious to see what we've ended up with. But early word is thumbs up. Now, as a bit more of a shock, way more of a shock, one person has put their voice forward. One person who saw, it's one of the reporters on a website called slashfilm.com. They saw Terminator Genisys. And despite my expectations of that movie, or lack of, and most of you guys, from the comments from my trailer reactions of it, it apparently is pretty good. Yeah, apparently. And it's not hard for this to be the case, but the guy was saying that he was quoted as saying that it's the best Terminator movie since T2. But like I said, that's not really a big achievement. All the rest they haven't really been great since T2, but they're quoted as saying that this is a worthy sequel. Now, James Cameron also came out a couple of weeks back saying that this was a worthy sequel to T2 and that it got his approval. Now, a lot of people were suspicious of that. Like, they reckon they maybe just gave him a shit ton of money for that. But you think it's James Cameron. He's got all the money in the world already. Why would he need to be paid off to give his thumbs up to a movie? He wouldn't. But it's making me really want to revisit those comments and think, shit, maybe it is all right. Roland Emmerich had himself a press conference earlier this week where he unveiled his plans for the new Independence Day movies, the new trilogies that they're going to be starting from this next one that they're about to go into production of. What did they show us? Not a lot. The whole thing took place on the set, one of the sets that they're going to use for the film, and basically it shows us that the alien technology that crash landed on Earth from the first film has been backwards engineered over the last, I don't even know, how long has it been since that last Independence Day movie? It's over a decade now. They've all around the world, cities all around the world, countries, because these ships were over every city, remember? And they all came crashing down, and they've all gotten their little piece of that technology, and they've all created their own ships and various technology, and it's basically caused the human race to leap forward decades in what would have been our natural development technologically, which is interesting. Now, I wasn't that really keen to check this movie out, but that concept is real interesting. Just to see what Earth is like when everybody's on an even playing field, no nation is above anybody else technologically, not anymore, because everyone had access to this technology, because there was so much of it all around the world. America, Europe, Asia, Middle East, Africa, everybody has that shit now. Everybody has spacecraft, space capable ships and everything. Like, wow. Potentially, visually at least, that shit can be amazing. The only problem for this movie is Roland Emmerich, who, as much as I do enjoy his movies on the level of guilty pleasure, what he's not great at is telling a compelling story or building compelling characters that you really care about. Yeah, so that could let this down. I'm worried about that. I'm worried to see what this script's going to end up being. Because if it's a good script and they really have a clear vision of where they want to go and they're not just trying to cash into the whole sequel, spin-off mess that the film industry's turning into right now, trying to compete with the likes of Marvel and Warner Brothers with their DC movies and the Fast and Furious movies and Jurassic World now, which is still number one, by the way. Let's get into that. Third week, still number one. Held off a Pixar movie, still number one. Holy shite. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see whether they actually know what they're doing and whether they have a clear vision for this new franchise that they're trying to build together or build up. Yeah, time will tell. What do you guys think? Are you looking forward to a new Independence Day? Did you like the old one? At the time, I thought it was okay. I never really loved it, but I enjoyed it. It's one of those films that when it comes on TV on a lazy Sunday afternoon, you're happy to watch it. It's on in the background. You look over it occasionally, you laugh, you giggle. Yeah, it ain't too bad. But do you mind? Do you even mind? That man on a horse just rolled past my window. What the fuck? It's the middle of London City, a man on a horse. Weird. But yeah, do you mind that Will Smith ain't in this movie? Does it bother you? Personally, it doesn't bother me. I'm kind of over the whole Will Smith thing. Yeah. I don't care that he ain't in this movie. It may be a better movie without him in it. We shall see. But what else has been happening over the week that I haven't mentioned about? You guys, let me know. Write comments down below and let's discuss it. Give me your thoughts on the topics I mentioned today. So yeah, I'm Tyrese. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. This has been my second take on the week of 29th of June. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.